Let me catch my breath. Hi guys, welcome back to the show. Welcome back. Guys, I have so much to talk to you guys about. Oh my gosh. This is why I do the episodes every Sunday, because I feel like, and honestly, here I'm already starting off stuttering. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. That's that chemically imbalanced. Also, this is probably going to be a very noisy episode because there are so many things happening on the outside of my house. And I'm pretty sure these walls are thin. And there's like a nigga cutting grass. There's somebody like trying to fix my dad's boat. Like, it's a lot of sounds. So if you hear him in the background, bitch, it's not my fault. I promise. But what I was about to say is I can't wait until I'm going to say this up until I start doing video episodes. Y'all just gonna have to be on this journey with me. I know y'all tired of hearing me say the same shit, but listen, you clicked on this podcast. We're friends now, okay? Friends repeat shit. But I can't wait until, I'm doing the video episodes and you guys click on the YouTube video and there's my little intro and then it just fades into a black screen and I'm just sitting there hi friends, welcome back to the show. A show you can actually see. This is still a show, but a show that you can watch would be much more efficient. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm in a much better mood than I was last episode. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Let's keep it a thou wow right now. Wow, that was 2008. Anyway, I'm just going to keep it 100 with you guys. I was so sad the last episode, that I have a book full of topics that I want to talk about in this notebook for the podcast, because I was doing it in my notes. Bitch, I got... It got long it was too much fucking typing for me. But anyway, oh my God, I dropped my quarter. But I have this book of topics and just a bunch of shit that I want to talk about on the episodes, and I cross them off as I go so I don't repeat the same shit or tell the same story twice, even though I still do, because some of y'all are new. I get 10 or more new listeners a month. So and I'm happy with that. Some people damn, this bitch struggling. That's great. I keep telling y'all, I was not expecting anybody to listen to this goddamn podcast. 400 listeners is crazy. Imagine 400 people just standing in front of you while you talk about some stupid shit. That's wild. Love y'all. But I know last episode was very, very not giving. And like I said, it was because I was sad. And I literally just opened my book. And the first thing I saw, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to write about it. Talk about it. I keep dropping my quarter and it's making me lose focus. Hold on. Okay, well, my quarter's gone now. I don't know where it is. It just fell into the abyss. What's that? Oh my God. Okay, sorry y'all. I thought I saw a hand sticking out from under my desk. I was like, please. But like I said last episode, I was in a little bit of a funk. I was tired as fuck. Mango kept me out all night. I was at this bitch's house until a very ungodly hour. Okay, so half of it is Mango's fault. She's fully prepared to take that blame, because the whole day she was like, damn bitch, you still ain't record your episode. I was like, I have not, because I'm over here with you. Had a blast though. That's my girl. But then as I had to record the episode in the morning, on Sunday morning, ass crack of dawn Sunday morning, or a little bit earlier than ass crack, honestly. This, what do you call the shit that cuts grass? A grass cutter? What's it called? That's not what it's called. Please, Zaria. A lawnmower. This lawnmower in the background, blowing my shit. I hate that noise. It's so obnoxious. Anyway, but y'all, as I crept out of my house in the dewy morning in Florida, wait, this is not how I want to start the story. Wait, guys. Okay. This is how I'm going to set the story, because I was sad. I was crying. I was crying. I know you guys are, when I tell y'all the story, I'm gonna be bitch, you weren't crying. I was bawling. I did not want to record the episode. I want to go in my house and cry myself back to sleep. So, to start the story off, okay? For the past 6 months, there has been this cat in my parents' yard. And I need to set up my parents' yard for y'all to understand why I so quickly started to care for this cat and why I was so devastated. Okay. So my parents have, they have a single story house. It's a ranch style house, right? So it's a little long than it is tall, right? And I told y'all before that they live on a pier. So there's a bunch of water around, right? They don't live on a pier. They live on a river their house. Oh, Jesus Christ. Their house sits on a river and they have a pier for that river so they can fish. My dad can launch his boat off and all that shit, right? But since the house sits on water, when there's like, bro, how is there 2 lawnmowers right now? Do y'all hear that shit? I'm not even gonna talk. Just listen. That's double homicide going on right now with 2 lawnmowers. Oh my God. Also, they have a really big yard. It's not outlandishly big. It's just, it's a lot of fucking grass out here, right? So when it rains and stuff, y'all, the water from the river like overtakes like 30% of the yard. And it's not, you can't even walk around. Like it's like calf high. Like it gets up damn near to your knees. Like the water's high as fuck. And so in the front of the yard, that's where water, like, because it's going down. Oh my gosh, this sound is so ghetto. I'm like cringing because I know y'all can hear these lawnmowers in the back. And I know there's going to be one person be like, bitch, why didn't you just record when they were finished? This is the time I record all the time. This is the time I record. They're messing with my schedule. I don't want to record at a different time because this is the time I always record. And I know I'm not going to feel like doing it later. And me and Mango are hanging out. And I know I'm going to be at her house all day. I'm having a breakdown, like, right now. Like, my God, they're so loud. You know what, guys? I don't think I'm going to be able to ignore the lawnmowers anymore. One keeps turning off, one keeps turning on, I'm going to have a meltdown. So we're just going to charge this whole episode. We're going to call this episode the lawnmower episode. This nigga's right beside the window, too. Like, he knows I'm in here doing business. Okay, I calm down. So we're just gonna accept that this episode has lawnmowers in the background, you guys. Please do not eat me up in the DM comments. My God. So anyway, back to the cat story. Okay, so in the front of the yard, that's where all the water pools because it's like downhill a little bit, right? So all the water is pulling up to the front. And 6 months ago, I noticed that there were kittens like hopping out from like the greenery on the side of the house. And I was like, oh shit, there's kittens out there. I wonder where their mom is. Because there's stray cats and dogs all around Florida, right? So maybe a few days after that, I saw the mom. And this was hands down the most beautiful cat I've ever seen in my life. And she was super young. That's why. And at first I was like, okay, maybe she isn't the mom. Because this cat doesn't even look like. This cat looked barely 1 year old. Like, she was obviously a kitten. But it was the mom because I like picked her up and she had like titties. But this cat was so fucking emaciated, y'all. She had no meat on her body. She was literally just fur, skin, and bones. And I was like, there's no way your kittens are going to be able to live if you can't eat because you can't produce milk to make them niggas eat. So I started panicking. And this is the downfall about being a confused ass 25-year-old still living with your parents when you really don't have to. Honestly, you really don't have to. But I tried to like take him in the house and my old ass dad was like, no, I'm gonna fucking die. I'm allergic. You're allergic to everything. Anyway, that was a projection. I'm sorry, Pop. So I was like, all right, I can't take him in the house. I'm not gonna be able to put him in the garage because, not the garage, the shed, because there's like, it's like snakes and possums and raccoons in the shed and shit like that. And listen to this lawnmower. All right, y'all. Listen to me. I know we've charged the episode to say that this is going to be a loud ass episode with all the equipment going in the back. This is the last thing I'm going to say about it. On my life, y'all, this nigga was just doing donuts around my window. I swear to God, he was just doing donuts. I literally looked out the window. That nigga was spinning in circles. Like, why are you trying my life? For what reason would you have to do a donut 3 times? These niggas are out here having the time of their life. Anyway, y'all, I promise I'm going to get to the story. Please, just stay with me. All right, so boom. Now I have 1 cat who's a mom, and I have 3 of her babies, which is crazy because none of her kittens look like her. So she was out here tricking and treating, but she was a beautiful cat. One of the most beautiful cats I've ever seen in my life. She was like a soft powdery gray, very, very close to white, but you knew she was gray. She had no spots, no stripes. She was all one solid color, that one solid powdery gray. And she had these like lemon lime bright green eyes. She was gorgeous. I thought I was looking at like an Egyptian god. She was gorgeous. I'm not lying, y'all. If I find a picture on Google, I'm gonna put it on the fucking Instagram. I promise. I don't know what type of cat she was, and I really don't know how old she was, but I do know that she was a baby. So, as I do when I see wild animals with no home, I immediately think I have to be your mom now. Like, I have to be your sole caretaker, because who else is gonna do it? You know what I'm saying? Who else is gonna feed you guys and love you guys? So literally every morning, well, not every morning, like maybe 3 times out of the week, I'm not gonna lie, I would go to McDonald's and I would buy 2 Happy Meals. I would give her a cheeseburger, fries, apple slices, and milk, and I would give her babies chicken nuggets, french fries, apple slices, and milk. And I did that for 6 months straight, for a long time, because I loved them. I saw the kittens grow up. They're like grown cats now. You know what I'm saying? The mom is bigger. She got fat. She started coming up to me, because at first she would let me pick her up, but she wouldn't like let me pet her, if that makes sense. Like, if I walked straight up to her and bent down to pick her up, like, she would let that happen. But if I tried to like squat down in front of her and like pet her, she would like not like that. I only had 1 cat when I was growing up, and I didn't have it for that long, so I'm not really well versed in cats. Like, I kind of really don't know how to pet cats. And Mango has a cat, and I like terrorize her cat every chance I get, because I want to love it and I want him to love me. It's just that it's wildly apparent that I don't know how to like interact with him. So yeah, but so these were my babies. I named them all. And I just, had a routine that, these were my children and I was taking care of them, right? They would come up to the porch, and they would be like sitting under my dad's truck if it got too cold, or, Florida cold. These were my children, y'all. Like, I loved these cats with my whole heart. So going back to last Sunday, it takes me so long to tell the story. Going back to last Sunday, I'm up at the ass crack of dawn. The way this house is set up, you have to walk like a fucking mile to get to the mailbox. So I'm walking up the driveway to go check the mail, because I'm just gonna, go back in the house. I was coming outside to see the cats, check the mail, go back in the house, get ready to record the episode. Easy ass Sunday morning, right? Sun is barely up. I don't even think the sun was up, to be honest with you. So the mailbox sits on the outside of the gate. It sits on the street. I go to the street, y'all. Oh gosh. I look over to my left, and I see something dead in the middle of the road. Now, I hate seeing dead animals. I hate seeing roadkill. It makes me so sad. And I also hate when people run over an animal and just leave it in the middle of the street. I understand why they do it. Obviously, nobody wants to touch a fucking dead bloody animal. I really do understand that. But I would have to do something to get it out the middle of the street. I can't just leave it there. Well, I mean, I couldn't leave it there, because I haven't hit an animal before. I would lose my shit. Anyway, so because I see like a fresh dead animal, I like walk up to it to see if it like, is it dead, or is it, is it suffering? We could put it out of its misery or something like that. Or if it's only hit bad enough to where it just can't move anymore. Like, I can still take it somewhere to get, help so it can survive. So I walk up to it, y'all. Why is it the fucking mom cat? Y'all, when I say I literally like I was so, and because she has such powdery fur, I thought she was like a raccoon or a possum, because it was like a gray little body, and I was like, oh my god, a possum or something got hit. And y'all, honestly, seeing her like that just broke my heart instantly. Like, I was in such a bad mood off the rip. Like, it really, 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 really made me sad. And it just ruined my fucking mood for the whole day. Luckily for me, her eyes were closed, and the way she got hit wasn't that bad. Like, there was no like exposed organs and stuff like that. I could tell she just got like hit in the head. And oh gosh, I'm not gonna cry now, because I'm a G'd up ass bitch. Just kidding. I'm still not gonna cry, but I definitely did. I just want y'all to understand. I'm spending 16 minutes talking about bullshit. Oh my god, I haven't even welcomed y'all into the episode. Oh, sorry. So anyway, guys, this 16-minute introduction to the show is just basically telling y'all that last episode I was tired. I had witnessed a gruesome murder to one of my children, and yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. So this episode, I'm feeling a lot better. I've seen her kittens since. We've grieved. We've had a memorial. We've eaten French fries together. They're off doing their grown cat stuff. I'm pretty sure they don't even live in the corner of the front of my house anymore. So we all, we did what we had to do to move on. And now they're out there taking on the world. But okay, guys, welcome to the show. Welcome back. If you're new here, please like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. I know that there's no visuals on YouTube. There's no videos. So you're just like, bitch, why the fuck would I do that? Because you want to help your local black girl. You want to see a black girl succeed. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I honestly, guys, this podcast is on so many other apps. I really don't know which ones they're on. So I only say Apple and Spotify Podcasts. Yeah, that's exactly how you say that. I only acknowledge Spotify and Apple Podcasts because that's where the money is. So if you are listening on those, on one of those applications, please give your girl 5 stars. And listen, when I say that, y'all just don't be giving a fuck. I think that's why, like, my body, like, forces me to forget to say it sometimes. It's like, it's not important. If they wanted to, they will. You guys are not my man. I have to beg you to do these things. Please, if you are listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, leave a rating. Like I said before, I love words. I love words of affirmations. Tell me that I sound sexy. Tell me that I made your day, or this is your favorite podcast to listen to when you're cleaning the house or you're on the way to work. You know what I'm saying? Put me in your life. Let me see. You know what I'm saying? Let me see how you see me. Tell me something juicy. Tell me something. Hey, if you want to shoot your shot, girl, please no men right now. I can't handle it. If you want to shoot your shot, you think I'm cute, or you think I could be cute because you never seen me before. The court always takes free throws. Okay, I don't know. But definitely, guys, appreciate those of you who have liked, commented, and subscribed. For those of you who have given a review. For those of you who've given me your opinions on the episodes and all the crazy shit I choose to do with this podcast. I appreciate it. Let's keep doing that, though. But okay, guys, let's get into these topics. Oh my gosh, I have so much energy right now. I wish I could just like squeeze all 400 of you. Like, love you guys. But the next topic I want to talk about is something I think I talked about like way, way early, like deep into this podcast, like way down. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I don't be remembering what I talk about. So we're going to have to establish a symbiotic relationship where I retell a story. You're just going to be like, yeah, I've never heard this before. But I remember I mentioned it maybe 2 or 1 episodes ago where I was talking about the title of this podcast and why it became what it became. And it's actually such a cool story that ends in such a bad way because of me. And I'll tell you it right now. I'll actually even make it quick because I'll be taking 1,000 years to tell one story, right? So I was talking about this podcast back in 2020, and I still regret not making this podcast back in 2020 because your girl would have been in bags by now. But, you live and you learn. That's fine. We're going to get to the bag anyway, so the timeline doesn't really matter. But I used to have this really close friend named Tanya. We're not going to say any real names until we get to Patreon. Her name was Tanya. We were super close. We met in 2019 because we both worked at Planet Fitness. I was a trainer. She was like a front desk person. So was I at one point. I just got, for some reason, promoted to being a trainer because your bitch got jacked. I'm not lying. I walked in there day 1 as a string bean. Day last, I was the GOAT. Did I just say day last? Oh my God. Also, for those of you who listen to this in the car and with headphones, I'm so sorry that I keep screaming. I'm gonna stop. I promise. I think. Okay, so anyway, I had this friend named Tanya. We were super close. We met at Planet Fitness. We both smoke weed, and that's one of my favorite things about another person because I just love smoking so much. So we used to meet up at 6 o'clock in the morning and smoke, or I would take her to work. She didn't have a car yet. I would take her to work, pick her up from work, and we just chill at her house literally for 24 hours. She had a dog named Jasper. That was my nigga. We meshed so well together. That bitch was also mentally fucked up, but we did not have a trauma bond. I used to think we did have a trauma bond, but we definitely didn't. We were close friends because of all the shit that went on in our minds and the shit we weren't afraid to say to each other about wanting to kill ourselves or wanting to cause harm to ourselves or hell, even other people. I just respected so fucking much about her that she could say whatever the fuck she was thinking without feeling bad about it. To the point where I'd be like, damn, I would have never said that. And I say some wild shit. I say some wild shit off of this podcast. My mouth is crazy. Pause. I mean, a fact is a fact. And so, yeah, I just had so much respect for her that she could just enunciate and articulate her diseases so well. You know what I'm saying? Like, she had PTSD, she had depression, anxiety, she had a whole bunch of shit, and she could vocalize all of it so well. And so one day we were just talking, you know, about random shit, and pause the story. That's one thing I really miss about her specifically, is because we used to have 2-hour long conversations. Y'all already know I don't like talking to no fucking nobody, but she was so smart, and she always knew exactly what the fuck she was talking about. And I love that, because I only can talk about what I know about. You know what I'm saying? I can only have an extensive conversation on shit that I have extensive knowledge about. Y'all know? And so she was so good at picking conversations that both of us were well versed in, to the point where we could have a conversation about it for longer than an hour. I used to love that shit, to the point where her mom used to come out of her room and be like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like, we would be so passionate. We would start yelling at each other, not like mad, but like, just because like we agree on a lot of shit, right? That was my bitch. So sorry I fucked that relationship up. So anyway, we were talking, and I was like, we should start a fucking podcast. Like, the conversations we have are crazy. And I know every friend group says that. I know that's like it's just like you talk the best with your friends. So, you know, that's a normal thing to come up when you're talking with your friends. And she was like, yeah, we should. Like, what should we call it? And I was like, no. She said no. I remember she said no, that she wouldn't do a podcast, but she would help me. Like, she was like, I would like help you do a podcast, like with all the technical stuff. Everybody who knows me know I could barely turn my fucking phone on. Like, if it involves like technology, I just can't fucking do it. So she was like, I'll assist you in, you know, the technical aspect, but she was like, I'm not gonna do that with you. Sorry. And so, you know, then we were just bullshitting, because I knew I wasn't gonna start it, because I didn't. She was like, what would you call it? And I was like, I don't know, probably like Tea Talks with Thee. I don't know, like something stupid. And then I like really started thinking about it, and I was like, I could call it like a Traumatized Gemini. And she was like, damn, that's good. I was like, that is actually fire. So I kept that name for a while, thinking I'm gonna start this podcast. And then one day we had this really, really emotional ass conversation where I think both of us were on the verge of like an anxiety attack and a panic attack from just all the things that were happening in our life. Like, at that time, that was my first time trying to be a flight attendant. So I'm like trying to figure out if I want to leave this new relationship that I was just in, if I really want to fight, if I really want to pursue this dream of mine, like, because I have to leave my family, my friends, and I'm not coming back, because I have to like move to a whole new state and shit like that. So she's contemplating what her actual career is going to be. You know what I'm saying? At the time we were like 20, how old are we in 2020? 21. You know what I'm saying? So she didn't even know what she wanted her career to be. You know, she was just working at Planet Fitness because it was a good paycheck. She didn't know what she wanted to be in life. So I think we were both so fucking overwhelmed at the same time. We had like met up, and you could tell like we were both trying to hide it from each other. Like, we weren't trying to just like burden each other with our like sadness. That's another thing we had in common. We just didn't like spilling our shit out on the table just because we could. And we started talking about depression, and she was just like, I'm so fucking sad. She was like, and I don't know what to do about it. Damn, there go my eye watering up. I promise y'all I'm not gonna cry. I promise I'm a fucking thug. It's just some things, you know, some things get a bitch emotional. So anyway, she was like, I'm so sad, and I don't know what to do about it. And I was like, bitch, I have never related to something more in my entire life. Like, it fucking hurts to wake up in the morning, bitch, because I just have to think about how I'm gonna make money. What am I gonna do next? How am I gonna get this? How am I gonna do that? Like, it's starting to hurt now. It's so fucking unbearable, right? That's the conversation we had. We real ass bitches. Real ass, tired ass, depressed, sad ass bitches. Okay? We just let it all out. So I start crying because I know I say I don't cry in front of people. I cried in front of her one time because it was just a real ass conversation. I can't even say no fake ass shit. Like, it was just a real ass conversation. I was so fucking hurt and sad, y'all. Like, the bitch y'all listening to right now, sorry, that was in 2020 and beyond. Like, oh, she was so sad. But she started breaking down to me, like, how deep depression goes and shit like that, like how hereditary it is. And she is the one who taught me the famous quote that I say to anybody who doesn't understand what it means to have depression. When you have it, it means from birth and forever. When you feel it, it's a situational occurrence, right? You can be depressed for a certain amount of time because a certain situation happened. Your mom died, your dog died, you lost your job, you got in a car wreck. These are depression, these are things that can spike up depression. But when you have it, it's a literal chemical imbalance in your brain that cannot be fixed unless you have a certain medication or what's that shit called? Psychotherapy. So after, and I was 21 years old when she taught me that. I've always known that I've had depression because it's fucking me. I can feel it. I felt it since I was 5 years old. I didn't know that it was a chemical imbalance. And the way those two words put together, chemical imbalance, it felt like somebody had said my name for the first time. You know what the fuck I'm saying? Damn, I did not mean for this episode to get so deep, y'all. I'm sorry. This is supposed to be a funny ass, happy-go-lucky episode. Damn, what is going on? I'm gonna get to the funny shit next. I promise. Jesus, this is just got dark. But honestly, when she said those two words, I was like, that's exactly what the fuck I am. Chemically imbalanced, y'all, to me is so perfect. Those are some perfect ass words. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, I cannot believe this is the first time I'm hearing those two words be put together. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I should call the fucking podcast, right? The podcast that wasn't going to get made until 3 years later, or 2 years later, I think. And she was like, oh my God, I love that. And why are they yelling? What is happening? So at first we were just like, yeah, chemically imbalanced podcast. And I was like, I don't know. That's a little short. Like, I don't know. So then I was like, what about chemically imbalanced black girl? And she was like, no, because, then you're going to be like pandering to one audience and people are going to feel like left out. And I was like, I think that's exactly what I want. I don't know. I don't want anybody to like look at the title and be like, oh, damn, I guess I can't watch this. It's only for black women. But I am a black woman and I'm going to tell stories that apply to black women and that black women can relate to. And black women have, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's exactly what the fuck I want. The last thing I would want is some other race trying to tell me what the fuck I said was wrong. First of all, I can't say nothing wrong because I'm telling you my experiences from my black ass life. You don't know nothing about that. So I don't know, y'all. That's just my little story of how the podcast name came to be. I know I told it like in episode 8 or 9, but we've got like over 200 new people listening. So now you guys know that your bitch is kind of on the crazy side. And also, I just want to say 2 really short things that I'm not going to elaborate on because I just won't. Yeah. There we go, because I won't. The first thing I'm going to say is the stuff that's happening right now in Gaza and all that. If you have a close relationship with God and you believe that your prayers are efficient, please pray. If you have spare money that you can donate to help literally any fucking thing over there, please, $1. If you have a platform where you can get information out to a bunch of people, please post and let other people know because that shit's fucked up. And that's all I'm going to say about that because although I'm a G, your girl's not desensitized yet and a bitch will start crying. The second thing I want to say without too much elaboration, I might elaborate a little bit this one, is I am not a fan. I am just not a fan of how people treat women. And I don't want to keep saying black women, even though it is. It's just that people hate women so much. And it makes me so sad. Even other women. That makes me even sadder. I really, 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 really hate how much negativity and misunderstanding people have for women like Jada Pinkett Smith. I don't give a fuck what y'all say about that woman. The only thing she is doing is telling her life story because niggas ask her to, and she gets scrutinized. It's crazy. Everybody think Will Smith is a bitch. That nigga from Philly, he's living his best life. He's good. That's his best friend. I don't like the way people are coming at Halle Bailey for being pregnant. Even when I know that bitch not pregnant. That didn't look like a belly to me at all. But people calling her a stupid bitch. Her career just peaked, even though that bitch been famous since she was like 13. So it didn't just peak. She been in hella movies. She been singing on hella stages. So just because you just heard about her in the new Little Mermaid doesn't mean that her shit just now peaking. So that's weird. But to line it up for y'all, do you see how, what am I trying to say? I hate how much evil words and spite and negativity y'all have for people like Halle and Jada and Megan. But y'all got all the prayers and uplifting words and encouragement for people like Krishan. That makes me want to blow this fucking world up. Because I'm not going to elaborate. If you have common sense, you'll just understand that fucking sentence. I'm going to piss myself off if I explain it. So I'm just not. Oh my God, you guys, I'm going to fuck around and this is going to be an hour episode. I have so much more to talk about and we're skating on 45 fucking minutes. Oh Jesus. See what happens when y'all in my DMs like, oh my gosh, you should post more like less edited videos. We would love to hear. I'm crazy. These long episodes are gonna be, but it's what y'all asked for, so I'm gonna give it to you. Fuck it. Also, this is like a really, really like side piece. Does anybody else like is not able to receive the word cunt as a curse word? I remember the age I was. I remember exactly where I was the first time I ever heard the word cunt. I was in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I was sitting in Ferguson Easley Elementary School. I was like 8 years old. I was in the first fucking grade. I was in my school. I just said the school's name. Jesus Christ, I need to go to bed. I was in my teacher, Miss April McFall's class, and I was sitting to this boy named Romaine. And I remember Romaine because Romaine he hit me hard as fuck with a broom for whatever reason while we were in class, and he gave me a permanent scar on my wrist that is still there to this day. But yeah, he called me a cunt, and I was like, what? And now looking back, I'm pretty sure Romaine had a crush on me because he always tried to like put me in a headlock and like hit me with shit and throw shit at me. And I used to have this big ass afro when I was a kid, and he would always like hide mechanical pencils in there, and like he would yank them out in the hallway like when we were walking past each other at random. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he wanted these 8-year-old cheeks, but you know. Also, Romaine was also 8. I just needed to point that out just in case I sounded like a creep. But yeah, he just like, I think he was like tapping me trying to get my attention. And he was like, Zaria. And I was just ignoring him because like, what the fuck are you doing? And he was like, fine then, you can ignore me, you cunt. And I was like, I turned around and I was like, that got my attention. I ain't never heard that word before. I was like, what? He was like, you heard me. And I was like, what was the word you called me? Sounded like you tried to say fuck, but you like your throat cut off. Like, what did you say? He was like, I called you a cunt. I was like, elaborate, nigga, like what is that? This is how I know he had no business calling me a cunt. He was like, I don't know, it's like a bitch. I was like, so why didn't you just call me a bitch? Like, it doesn't sound like it means bitch. Honestly, to this day, I really don't know what cunt means. Like, I don't know if that's like a name you call somebody. I can't receive it as an insult. Like, it sounds nice. Like, it doesn't sound like an insult. And then now, like, the girls and gays use it. Like, oh my God, that's so cunty. When I heard that for the first time, that was like a year ago. I was like, oh my God. I had no idea that you could say that word in a good way. Because I had just learned that it was a bad word. So yeah. All right, y'all, let me end this fucking episode. This was an episode of pure noise and chaos. That's what I'm going to call this episode. That's the name of this episode, is going to be Noise and Chaos, because what the fuck? I'm so sorry. Y'all, if this was a bad episode, just let me know. If you talk to me on TikTok and Instagram, just let me know. Like, yeah, sis, that wasn't the one. It was noisy as fuck. I can't do anything about it, y'all. I'm sorry. It wasn't my fault, I promise. Okay, so you guys, I'm gonna wrap the episode up. I've been talking for 50 fucking minutes, and I think you guys have had enough. But I'm so conflicted on, there's no way I'm going to do both. I have a really good existential crisis thought, but I also have a really, really good am I the asshole? And I think the am I the asshole is going to give me a couple more minutes of like speak time. So I think I'm going to go with the am I the asshole, and I'll do the existential crisis thought for the next episode. Okay, guys. For the exit ticket. Y'all remember that damn, we had those in high school? I think I did when I was a freshman. I think I had exit ticket. You know what? Fuck this shit. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend she overreacted after my grandpa made a dumb racist comment? So, my girlfriend, 26 female, is and looks white, but her mom is half black and white, and her dad is just white. Looking at her, you could never tell she was anything but just white. I think that's relevant to the story. This past weekend, we went out to eat with my grandpa, who was in town. This would be their first time meeting, and he was my only living grandparent, so I was really excited for them to meet. Everything went fine the entire dinner and conversation until right before our check was about to come, when my grandpa made a dumb racist joke about how he wanted to see if a table of black people seated a few tables away from us would tip their waiter, who also happened to be black. And he said, "That's something I have to see. Should we get dessert and wait to see?" And started laughing. My grandpa always says stupid and salty jokes, and I thought we could just roll our eyes and ignore him. My girlfriend got extremely upset and started cursing him out, saying that that's racist and she's also black. She threw her drink on him before she drove off, didn't even give him time to react. It happened so quick. It was such an overreaction. My grandpa was so upset he wanted to call the police, and I had to beg him not to, as I called us an Uber because we took her car there, and she just left us. Afterwards, I took my grandpa to my parents' house and went straight to my girlfriend's apartment. She had the nerve to scream at me, saying I didn't stand up for her. I told her that I just spent the past hour begging him not to press charges and calling the police for throwing a drink at him. She said he's acting like a bitch over some water and that he deserved it. I told her she overreacted and it was a dumb joke, and she kicked me out and blocked me. Am I the asshole? So I picked this am I the asshole because there's always, when I start stuttering, I'm trying not to say anything too controversial, but I'm a controversial bitch, especially when it comes to stuff like that. So yes, I think he was the asshole because I feel like I'm gonna contradict myself. Hold on. Number one, he's the asshole even if you take his girlfriend out of the equation, right? Even if his girlfriend wasn't present, he still remains the asshole, because not all the time, but when it's negativity behind it, 99% of the time, the flock you keep is the flock you sweep. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you thought that y'all would just gonna roll your eyes and be like, "Oh, Papa, he's such a silly man." You know what I'm saying? After he said some racist ass shit, that means that you don't mind racist ass shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not for that. Oh, my grandparents are old school. Oh, that's just how they are. You need to check that old nigga. Okay? Let's not do that. I don't give a fuck if I look white. Don't let that nigga, how about we just don't let that nigga say shit like that? Like, what are you talking about? You would have been an asshole had that bitch not even been here. So that's the first thing. Your girlfriend didn't make you the asshole. You were already the asshole, buddy. Second, I read a bunch of the comments to this Reddit post, and sir, why do they rev engines like that out here in Jacksonville? Why? This is a one-way street. Oh God. Anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna end this episode soon. You'll never have to see me again. I'm just kidding. But I did read a couple of the comments from this post, and a lot of people were saying she had the right to be mad, but she didn't have the right to throw the drink. And although it's never right to hit somebody, or it's never right to physically assault somebody, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. And a lot of y'all are gonna look at me different for this, and I can take that. I can handle that, because it would only take this type of conversation for me to do it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really proud that she threw the drink in his face, because I think I would have spit on him. I'm sorry, y'all. I know that's a hate crime, I know it's a hate crime, and please do not judge me personally for it. But I think my body would have just took over, and I would have spit on him. I don't know. I'd have been like, tip that, bitch. Tip that loogie hanging off your chin. I don't know. I would have wanted to cause him some type of harm. Papa would have got his ass beat. I don't know. I hate erasers, especially when they try to make that shit funny. Bitch, I will beat you black. How about that? Yeah, I would have beat Papa's ass. I probably wouldn't, but I don't want to talk about what I would have done. Let's not do that. Let's just focus on the actual story of the Reddit. So if we're being honest, if we're being truly honest, she didn't need to throw the drink on him, but I wholeheartedly 100% understand why she did that. And when she said she acted like a bitch, I said, there go that 25%. She said, that nigga acted like a bitch. I only threw cold water on him. Yeah, that was that 25% just jumped out. And, here goes some contradiction for myself. I know, and I've said this before, some of y'all ate me up, some of y'all cussed me out, because some of y'all are mixed race. And it doesn't matter. I'm just a random bitch in Florida. What I say isn't concrete to how you believe about yourself. But I personally believe that if one of your parents are one thing and the other parent is a whole other thing, that makes you biracial. It does not make you one of those races. I don't give a fuck how you feel. I don't give a fuck what you identify. That is perfect for you. If you are mixed race and you identify as black or you identify as white, that is wonderful for you. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't. I'm not telling you that you should change your fucking, the shits. That's just how I feel. But on top of that, I also know that to some people in the world, especially white people, if you have 1% black in you, then that means you are eligible for all scrutiny, all demonization, all racism, all of the torment that black people get. And you should be eligible for that because somebody in your bloodline was one of them monkeys and bitch, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's how some white people think or some other races think. And it's not, here we go. I just feel like for this specific Reddit story, I just feel like y'all, I don't know what I feel. I don't want to say anything wrong. That's the whole thing about like being on social media today. Like I want to say how I feel, but I don't want to like insult anybody. I was about to say it's so important for black people to date black people because there's certain shit that other races are just, whether it's a white person, an Indian person, or whatever the fuck person, there's some black people have been through so much in this fucking country that there is a lot of shit that you are not going to understand about what triggers black people, what is a microaggression of black people, what, you know what I'm saying? There's so much shit that we go through on a daily basis that dating outside of that race is going to be frustrating as fuck for a lot of people. Not saying that it's impossible. It's hella mixed race couples out here. Obviously, it's workable. But I can just understand how frustrating that is because it's like you just don't fucking get it. And no matter how many times I try to reiterate it or explain it to you, it's never gonna, you may understand, but you're never gonna be able to truly like get it because you don't live that life. You have no livable proof. You know what I'm saying? All you can do is believe what I tell you, and that's only gonna do so much. I need you to be enraged like me. I need you to feel the same way I'm feeling. I need us to feed off of each other. I need us to be able to calm each other down instead of just saying, oh, well, maybe he didn't mean it. Oh, it's not that deep. It's not that big of a deal. Or I don't know. Well, maybe we'll get him to apologize. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. And if you come from two black parents, you know how deep that shit is. You know what I'm saying? If you have like a Hispanic parent or Asian parent or a white parent and your other parent is black, you get a little bit of that, especially if the mom is the black one. But, you know, a lot of times you fucking don't. So it's just that Reddit story made me, even though that bitch was only 25% black and she looked white as snow, she still felt like, okay, so because you don't know that my mom is half black, this is just the type of company that you keep in your family. Like these are the type of conversations that you niggas think are like table side manner. You know what I'm saying? These are the type of conversations that you niggas like grew up on. This is what the family tree laughs at. You know what I'm saying? And she could pass for white, and she still was like, "Fuck you," and that old ass nigga. So props to that bitch in the Reddit story, and fuck that nigga who wrote it. Okay, guys, that is the end of the episode. I'm so sorry. This is the most chaotic podcast episode on planet Earth. All I had to do was like break out into a fist fight with like a random person and it would have been top of the charts. Oh my gosh. But again, you guys, make sure you leave a review. Send me a DM if you want to chat extra about anything you've heard in these episodes. I love dialogue. I love talking with people. And I love a healthy debate. As long as you don't call me a stupid bitch. Fine. But all right, guys, you hear this lawnmower get louder as I'm trying to check off? Oh, God, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry, guys. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.